A fashion designer's impact goes beyond the runway. They change the way we look at ourselves and those around us. Video Fashion Designers chronicles their past successes and follows their evolution into the 21st century. The gifted young design duo behind the label Proenza Schouler, McCollough and Lazaro Hernandez, have been embraced by the fashion world ever since their entire senior thesis project at Parsons School of Design was bought by Barney's New York. While still in school, both paid their dues, working for New York's major design houses. Hernandez interned at Michael Kors and McCollough at Marc Jacobs. The pair combined their mother's maiden names when forming their label in 2002, and Proenza Schouler was born.
They're both so talented and so sweet and so humble, and in such a short time they've really, established a Proenza Schouler look and a signature, which is so important to do. It's really like a little fairy tale the way it's all happened for the two of them.
There's always an overriding vision, and then there's all this technique that underlies it. It's kind of like technology meets luxury meets hipness.
We kind of just do what we do, and we love it.
Since their launch, the boy wonders behind Proenza Schouler have excelled at blending chic sophistication with a subtle sexuality. A mix that's proven to be perfect for downtown it girls and celebrities alike.
Their stuff is really, really sexy but edgy, which fits my personality very well.
I just think that they speak to a lot of young girls out there. They're always hip, they're always cool, they're always on top of what's happening in fashion.
Their exceptional talent and unique vision have earned the innovative designers several CFDA fashion awards. And in 2007, the Valentino Fashion Group took notice and bought up a 45% stake in the company, taking the label to a new level.
They get stronger every season because I think they work harder and harder on their designs, and they've also had investment from Valentino, so they have this extra set of funds to do those techniques.
In 2011, a group of 20 investors, led by Theory founder Andrew Rosen, invested in the Proenza Schouler brand, citing the label as the future of American luxury.
The boys are amazing, so creative. Their use of fabric and color is just outstanding. I think America's finest young designers.
The company's been growing. There's been a lot of changes business-wise, and it can be quite stressful at times. I think even more so now, we like kind of locking ourselves up in our studio.
For us, it's all about the creative process and the journey of every collection, so it's really fun for us.
It was crunch time for Lazaro Hernandez and McCollough, the 20-something-year-old designers behind the acclaimed Proenza Schouler label. With their fall 2005 show only 48 hours away, the heat was on.
We're doing fittings right now. All the models are coming in, and we're trying on the looks that we think would be best for them and making the final adjustments for the show.
It's exciting, yeah. We're excited for the show. I can't believe it's 2 days away.
Fold this over.
Let me see. I think that was this one. Yeah, we did fold it over.
We might try a different look on her, too.
Should we just try this on her?
Yeah. I like that.
I think this will be really cute and a little hat.
Yeah.
The top is perfect.
Yeah, the top's great. I'd like to change this zipper pull if we could find another one.
The purple looks so good on her. 2-inch cuff. Like a nice big cuff.
Is there... You don't want to go tighter on the bill?
Like if you go too skinny here, to make it look like that. Go straighter.
I don't want a big butt.
It's important to get the fits just right, and if clothes aren't fitting right, it doesn't look so expensive.
It's Saturday night, the show's Monday morning. So all the alterations have to be done on Sunday, which sucks because a lot of our factories and a lot of the contractors we work with are not open. So we've never shown on a Monday before, so it's kind of difficult.
Ready or not, Monday morning came, and everyone backstage was preparing for the presentation of Proenza Schouler's fall show.
But we finished everything. It looks great, and we're ready to go.
Their readiness was surely helped by the infusion of $200,000 in grand prize money as winners of the inaugural 2004 CFDA Vogue Fashion Fund Award.
That paid bills.
So, just amazing to be a part of that.
So that just really helped us get to the next level in our business.
I think it's definitely difficult. We graduated and then we started doing our own collection and people are watching, so we're still trying to figure out what we like and what we love and figuring out our signature. So it's hard, like we're still students in a lot of ways. So it's hard to kind of have to do that in front of so many people and like be reviewed by like the biggest reviewers.
My take on Proenza is that they've now developed in one of the major labels in New York, becoming one of the highlights of the week. Their take on fashion is very refreshing, and the choices that they make and how they put the outfits together is fundamentally very New York, but at the same time avant-garde. They're developing as one of the most exciting design duos internationally, in fact.
We just learn as we go.
Yeah.
It's been a process. Every day we just learn a little bit more, and we just, we have great people around us that support us and and teach us the ropes and guide us and just help us. I mean, we're young, so we're learning it for ourselves. So it's really great to have just support.
With the pre-show activity in full swing for the staging of the Proenza Schouler Fall 2008 collection, A-listers arrive in support of the award-winning design team.
This stuff is really, really sexy but edgy, which fits my personality very well.
We kind of just do what we do. We love it.
Capturing the look of today's it girl, Jack McCollough and Lazaro Hernandez, the design duo behind the coveted label, went on a road trip that led them to the Chinati Foundation in Texas and to the work of artist Donald Judd.
And we were kind of just blown away by the landscape of the West and just the setting of these beautiful artificial Judd pieces and the colors of these Judd pieces in the middle of this kind of savage landscape. We were really inspired by that, and we started playing with the idea of paper airplanes as a result of that, and ended up designing a huge portion of the collection, not with paper and pencil, but by actually just folding papers into paper airplanes and creating clothes using that technique.
They have taken their brand to the next level. They're world-class designers, that duo, absolutely. It turns out those dresses, all those folded dresses, were all one piece. That's remarkable. That's real craftsmanship. So I was stunned by that collection.
This dress, for example, it's just one piece and it all wraps in on itself, and then it's on fold here, so it's literally just one piece of fabric.
The Proenza Schouler boys have really made an impact from the moment they graduated from Parsons. Every collection seems to evolve and get stronger and stronger and much more sophisticated, much more mature.
I mean, the company's been growing. There's been a lot of changes business-wise, and it can be quite stressful at times. So I think even more so now, we like kind of locking ourselves up in our studio. And
Thanks for that. It's just the love of creating and the love of discovering new things and being in your studio and just playing with paper airplanes all day and figuring out ways to make clothes and make women beautiful. Well, after the last show, we went on a road trip. We flew into Santa Fe and kind of just drove up to Wyoming and just kind of took in that part of the world and really did a lot of research out there, especially into like native cultures, Native American culture, and took a lot of elements from that. But ultimately, it's not a thematic collection. It's strictly modern and urban and all that stuff.
on a textile level, on a developmental level, we started researching these blankets. We're looking at a lot of their older blankets and started kind of playing with this idea of blanket pants and constructing jackets and things. Lots of ideas of like bias cut things. We'd never explored bias cut before, so we've done like bias cut pants in the beginning. There's like a ton of bias cut velvet dresses in the end, but we really kind of went there with textiles this season.
Knitwear is another big area that we're sort of exploring. All the knits you'll see are actually knitted with leather yarns and all these thick viscose threads, and they're all these kind of like really textural things. We're really excited about those.
They certainly have become one of those design houses that we all now look to. And I think they've been really smart about keeping their creativity fresh, but still maintaining their voice.
Both of the boys are incredibly talented. They were one of those young designers that when I first saw the collection, I knew instantly they really had what it takes. They can tap into what women want. They can tap into the trends very easily, and they deliver. It's been consistent. They're consistently good, which is very important when you're starting out. They have good quality, they have great eye, and they have a great sensibility about what works.
It's all handmade. There's a lot of like that artisanal quality to things. Ultimately, you want to dress contemporary women. For us, it's all about the creative process and the journey of every collection. So it's really fun for us. So, yeah. We wanted to keep the silhouettes really feminine, really neat, and nothing too crazy. And
yeah, not really like redefining the female silhouette, because there's only so much a woman can kind of wear without looking like, you know, a crazy person.
The boys are amazing, so creative. Their use of fabric and color is just outstanding. I think America's finest young designers.
They're still the young generation of designers, but they're certainly not novice designers. They're one of the shows that you must see. You know, they're known for having a really individualistic point of view. I feel like when I come to Proenza, I'm going to be surprised. They're going to do something that probably nobody else is doing. They have a unique vision, and for such a young company, the clothes are so beautifully made and, you know, really special. They can take a theme and they don't make it costumey. They have their inspirations, but they merge them in a way that's hip and beautiful at the same time.
We felt like women wanted to sort of want to dress up again. They need something a little more kind of beautiful and tactile, and I don't know, kind of a sense of elegance feels great again.
We wanted to start with this idea of different ways to kind of protect yourself, and then it kind of led us to these martial arts. So we started looking at karate and kendo, fencing, these kind of very protective clothes, these clothes that are very wrappy or double-breasted or quilted and padded.
Fighting back, which is like all the sporty samurai stuff.
We're always interested in working with materials that we haven't really fully used before. when we were in Bhutan, we found all these baskets, all these different woven baskets, and that kind of led us to the idea of doing this woven leather. So we started just putting swatches into work and mixing different colors in and metallics in and pairing more exploded textures with these softer, smaller scale textures.
Kind of ended up like basket weave, and so we thought they were pulled together, and just like a lot of leather.
The boys always push technology, the weaving of the fabrics, the stiffness of the coat. You couldn't really tell what were the fabrications, and then we got into a very oriental, origami, almost folding.
My reaction was a major adrenaline rush because it was truly exciting. New proportions presented in a very persuasive way, incredible use of ornamentation. I mean, they took some very literal things like some of those Asian bird embroideries, but just used them in such a fresh, intriguing way.
Their designs are very fun and young, and I love their shoes, their bags. I think they have it all kind of covered, and they're very talented.
At the end, that was like really basic charmeuse, which is like really like simple silk. And then we like quilted it and batted it and made it into these like weird three-dimensional textures with the quilting motifs. And then we embroidered on top of that, mixed it with plastics and wove leather through them. So it's all just like processes on fabrics. We just like to challenge ourselves. For us, it was about collage and the idea of randomness, and we're looking at a lot of images on Tumblr and the randomness of the internet, how things aren't related. So we wanted a collection that sort of spoke to that in an abstract sort of way.
Well, I mean, the craftsmanship was amazing. The detail work, the thought process that went into the different layers, the construction, the grommets, the prints, the patchworks. I mean, layer upon layer upon layer, which created a very evocative and striking collection.
I mean, there were a lot of new techniques we were working with. Pretty much the first half of the show was bonded leather, but we liked the idea of taking these leathers and figuring out a way to create lightness through them. They're bonded, they don't need facings, there's no linings in them, and then we had them laser cut out, creating perforation motifs, but then they're all hand crocheted together. So a little bit of craft and a little bit of technology, all within every single garment.
I'm a huge fan of theirs. I love the way that they see women. I'm empowered to wear their clothes. My own style is feminine, but with an edge. And I definitely see that with this collection and with their clothes in general.
We just wanted to juxtapose the hardness of the leathers with something really soft, so we wanted to kind of throw a little femininity in there with some lace and chiffon, and so it was a mix of both, hard and soft, you know?
We've seen other designers use photo prints. What made these different was the way they used them in repetition, so they were using them to create unique patterns of their own. They're really focused on craft, and I do think that this season they sort of pushed themselves up to the next level.
I mean, I think it's the most color we've ever done. If you look at the whole run of show, from beginning to end, it's actually like a full rainbow. It follows the spectrum of a rainbow.
Yellow, orange, red.
And we've always really wanted to do like a far out, colorful kind of collection. So we thought this was the right one to kind of take it there. This season we wanted to kind of look towards something a little softer, something a little more discreet, something that felt a little more intimate, that you had to kind of get up close to it to kind of understand what it was or feel the texture, really see the color. We wanted to pull out all the saturation of all the colors and just kind of soften things up.
Last season was just like very visually sort of, you know, loud. And what felt kind of fresh and what turned us on was subtlety, like a serenity, things that felt a little more polished all of a sudden felt more relevant to us.
Everybody was blown away by the spring collection, so we're very excited to see what they do as a follow-up for fall. We can't even call them young designers anymore. They're establishment now, and after 10 years, they really represent the future of American fashion, and they're doing some of their best work. They're at their most energetic. This is really their moment, and there's so much room for new design in American fashion that these guys are really poised to become the next big thing.
Oh my God, these guys are the best. They're like the epitome of cool, and every girl I know covets Proenza. So I think everybody's always excited to see what those boys are going to do, and they're incredible. They're incredibly talented and innovative and interesting and unique.
I thought it was beautiful. I loved it. Whenever I go up to the office to see them, I'm always really blown away by the textures. When you actually touch the things, how well made they are, and the different patterns and colors, and the trips that they go on to kind of gather that inspiration, and seeing that on the wall and then seeing what comes of that in the collection is always really very artistic, and I enjoy it.
Yeah, we really went to town just like exploring new types of materials. Like we've been playing with woven leather for a couple seasons, but this time we wanted to create a tweed out of it.
You know, using modern technology to create really sophisticated, beautiful clothes. Softness doesn't have to just mean color or like texture, it can also mean softness of form.
Like a style line or a sleeve shape.
Just wanted to get rid of angles, and like every line was round.
I think that, you know, they are really devoted to craft, and they like layers and depth, and they were doing all sorts of weird things with, it seemed like, heat transferring little amoeba things to lace, and then laser cutting other fabrics. Very cool way, like sort of a cool couture in a way.
Proenza did a very lean, very pure, and very spare collection and opening, black and white, you know, a color palette that at one time was very classic and now very directional. Very pretty show for the boys.
That's what we try to be at the end of the day, is kind of reflect our moment, which is right now. So yeah, I mean, like the aim is always to create something extremely contemporary, and that's kind of our proposition of what feels contemporary to us.